Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Police seize submachine gun and ballistic vest in Clarendon. A Kel-Tec submachine gun with a magazine containing 14 rounds of ammunition was seized in a joint operation carried out by the Clarendon Police and members of the military on Wednesday, June 29. Reports from the Mapen Police are that about 6 a.m., the team conducted the operation on Love Lane in Banks District in the parish. During the search of a property, the weapon was found in a knapsack that was stashed in a bucket at the back of the yard. Another black knapsack was found containing a ballistic vest. Trelawney mother and sons charged over gun seizure. A Trelawney mother and her two sons have been charged in relation to the seizure of an illegal gun at their house on Tuesday. Charged with illegal possession of firearm and ammunition are 23-year-old Tariq Gale, 20-year-old Trey Gale, and 58-year-old Beverly Barrett, all of Kensington in Duncan. The police reported that a team was on an operation in the area when a premises occupied by Barrett and her sons was searched and the firearm and ammunition were found. All three were taken into custody and were subsequently charged. Their court date is being finalized. St. Catherine Police Divisions hunting 11 wanted men. The St. Catherine North and South Police Divisions have listed 11 men wanted for crimes spanning from murder to shooting with intent. In the St. Catherine North Division, the top 5 most wanted men were named. Our investigation suggests that these individuals are the main drivers of violent crime in the division, and their arrest and charge will lead to an improvement in the safety of all, said SSP Howard Chambers, head of the St. Catherine North Division. The men are Rodolph Shaw, otherwise called Boxer, of Homestead in Spanish Town, St. Catherine. He is wanted for murder and shooting with intent in relation to 2 incidents committed on 31 St. John's Road in the parish in September 2021 and May 2022, as well as the murder of Romaine Robinson, committed in April 2019. Dean Norman, otherwise called Max, of Berwick District, Riversdale in St. Catherine, who is wanted for murder committed in his community in December 2021. Shane Bartley, of Toys Meadows in Spanish Town, St. Catherine, who is wanted for murder committed in his community in May 2022. Junior Brown, of Springvale District in Bogwalk, St. Catherine, who is wanted for murder committed in his community in April 2020. Kevin Fletcher, otherwise called Tippy, of Victoria District in Linstead, St. Catherine, who is wanted for shooting with intent committed in May 2021 at Barry Road in Bogwalk, St. Catherine. Another 6 men were listed in the St. Catherine South Division. They are Marcus Mitchell, whose last known address is Penway, Passageford in Portmore, St. Catherine. He is wanted for murder of Jermaine Litchmore, committed on Wednesday, March 25, 2020. Marky Mitchell, otherwise called Puddy, whose last known address is Penway, Passageford in Portmore, St. Catherine. He is also wanted for the murder of Jermaine Litchmore, committed on Wednesday, March 25, 2020. Jason Duncan, otherwise called Big Eye, whose last known address is Waterford, St. Catherine. He is wanted for shooting with intent committed on Sunday, November 4, 2018. Barrington Campbell, otherwise called Cooley, whose last known address is Big Lane Central Village in St. Catherine. He is wanted for shooting with intent committed on Friday, February 5, 2021. Marlon Barnett, otherwise called Shortman, whose last known address is Gregory Park, St. Catherine, is wanted for shooting with intent committed on Thursday, February 13, 2014. Neville Butler, otherwise called Mark, whose last known address is Old Harbour Road, St. Catherine. He is wanted for the murder of Romaine Robinson, committed on Tuesday, April 23, 2019. These men are asked to turn themselves in the respective police stations in their divisions. Members of the public are also reminded that harboring a fugitive is a crime and therefore should share any information that they may have of the whereabouts of these men, the police cautioned. Favour weighs in on school board appointment controversy. Education Minister Favour Williams insists that members of Parliament MPs should have a role in the selection of boards of management in schools. However, following controversy 3 months ago surrounding how government-appointed members of the St. Elizabeth Technical High School State's Board of Management were chosen, the minister says she has moved to have more consultation and greater transparency in school board appointments. I have been encouraging consultation and encouraging us to really meet different communities on important decisions, Williams told reporters during a visit to Stets last Friday. Asked directly about the role of MPs in the choice of government-appointed school board members, Williams said, MPs are part of the constituency in which schools are and are called on to do a lot of the school outside of what the Ministry of Education and Youth can do, and they are the elected representative. But I know that there is still a need for us to open up the process, to be a little bit more transparent, to allow other people to come forward and volunteer, as well as our boards, and we can only make it better. There was anger in the Stets fraternity in late March following news that, solely on the recommendation of ruling JLP Member of Parliament for St. Elizabeth Northeastern, Delroy Slowly, 4 people were nominated by the National Council of Education (NCE) to serve on the Stets Board of Management. The NCE oversees public schools in Jamaica. The 4, including the recommended board manager, Yankee Watson, were subsequently formally approved by the Education Minister. The appointments took effect on April 1. A complainant for many in the Stets family at the time was that 3 of the 4, including the new chairman, had no previous relationship with Stets. Those 3 are in fact past students of Monroe College, the prestigious all-boys school located in Malvern, 14 miles away atop the Santa Cruz Mountains. A strongly worded letter written by Stets principal Keith Wellington to NCE Executive Director Maurice Murray in late March alleged that the nominations made by the organization without customary consultation are an insult to the Stets fraternity and to the wider Santa Cruz. The letter noted that Stets, established in 1961 following intense lobby by the Santa Cruz Citizens Association of the day, is celebrating its 68th year. Wellington, himself a Monroe old boy who had been at Stets for 25 years, rising through the ranks to become principal in 2008, made it very clear in his letter that he thought the decision by the NCE to largely ignore those close to Stets while opting to appoint 3 Monroe alumni as its representatives was extremely offensive. While to the uninitiated this might seem as trivial matter, those who are constantly offered full support to their alma mater have already raised concern, the letter said. This concern is precipitated by the fact of the successes of the school have been built on the contribution of all alumni, whose pride drive them to making the sacrifices required, Wellington said. To suggest by way of these appointments that the government of the institution is better off without those input in keeping with the inevitable culture of the ownership that we have built over the last 6 decades, he added. Last Friday, the minister claimed tensions linked to the board appointments had calmed. This particular case here at Stets came to my attention, and right away I spoke with the principal. I see how we could resolve the situation and move amicably going forward, and I think we are moving forward amicably now on the board. But as I said, I have been encouraging consultation and encouraging us to really meet the different communities on important decisions, Williams told reporters. In late March, Solely, also a Monroe old boy, whose constituency includes Santa Cruz as its main town, insists that there was no intention to disrespect Stets when he made his recommendations. We have selected persons who we consider to be competent. These persons were recommended on the basis of networking and persons who I consider competent, able and available to serve, he said. At the time, Doran Dixon, a former president of the Jamaica Teachers Association, who headed a NCE governance committee, which was responsible for nominating specified school board members, strongly defended the controversial board appointments. He insisted that proper process was followed in line with the Education Act of 1980, which covers the governance of schools, including the appointment and conduct of school boards. Dixon noted at the time that the section of the Education Act, which deals with school boards for a publicly owned secondary school, has no requirement for consultation with anyone. The Education Act also has no requirement for any elected politician other than the Education Minister to have a say in the appointment of school boards. However, Dixon argued 3 months ago that there was a long-standing practice for recommendation to school boards by a Member of Parliament to be accepted after what he called due diligence. The role of politicians other than the minister in the appointment of school boards has been long a continuous issue. Back in 2015, Education Minister Ronald Tweeds of the then ruling People's National Party claimed he had put an end to MPs effectively appointing chairpersons and school boards. Tweeds said at the time that he had set up a consultation-based system to ensure fairness in the selection process. When I came to the ministry, the Member of Parliament's nomination was pretty much absolute in terms of the appointment of the chairman of each school board. Yes, the MP is the people's representative and does have a right to say something, but not to appoint. I've had to turn back letters from colleagues saying I'm appointing so and so as the chairman of this school in my constituency. With the greatest of respect, no, Tweeds told reporters at the time. Last Friday, Williams said that while the NCE does appoint a few members of school boards, such bodies are inherently board-based since they are representatives from school-related stakeholder groups including parent-teachers associations, teachers, school administration, and alumni. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.